What's good, guys? JDaisy here with the JDaisy Gaming Channel, here with another JDaisy review. Sorry I've been away for a while. There's just been some stuff I've been dealing with in my personal life, so apologies that it's been about a week or two hiatus from posting videos, but here we are with a game that I've been staring at and it was on Steam sale, so I had to go and pick it up. It's called Planetbase. There'll be a link down in the description as always to the Steam page. It was $14.99 this week when I bought it, and it is a strategy colonization base building game, and I can tell you from experience it is a challenge. This is one of the most challenging strategy games I have ever played. This is my base that I'm currently working on, and I'll go through an overview kind of and maybe even start a new one so you can see what's going on. But the game is very challenging. This is about the 8th time I've tried to colonize this planet and failed, and this one is not going any better. As you can see, all these little icons above the people's heads mean they're hungry, which means we are not producing enough food. So obviously you have to keep an eye on power so that you don't run out of oxygen. Oxygen also takes water, so you got to make sure you have water. You have ore that you need to build and increase your base, because as your base becomes more self-sufficient, you want more people so you can be more, it's a vicious cycle if you ever played a strategy game. So we can break down, and the whole point is there's 4 different planets to choose from. On each planet you have certain number of milestones you have to make. Milestones are simple things as surviving day 1, or let's see here, if we bring up the milestone tab, we have survive day 1, get new colonists to the base, so like build a landing pad for this, self-sufficient, be self-standing, prestige 10, population 100. Some of these things I don't like the technology. I'm not 100% sure how we get that. I'm still figuring out the game. I've only had it for 8 hours now, so I'm still learning the tips and tricks for it. But I will give my first-hand opinion on it, and just to start off with, it's great. If you like base building games, you like strategy games, simulation games, this is a game for you. If you don't want something with warfare where you got to have tanks and things, this is a game for you. It's a big challenge. Like I said, this is like my 8th time trying, and we're out of food as it just popped up there in the lower left-hand corner. But it definitely excuse that. So it's definitely a challenge. What more can I say about it? You can just kind of break down some of the buildings here. In the center is where we have our basic cafeteria. To the right here is where we have food processing going on. This is materials processing from the mine over here. Basic solar array going to, these are called power collectors. I personally think they should be called batteries, because when I see collector, for some reason I think that they make their own power, but they don't. You have to be either hooked up to solar panels or wind turbines. So that's a little annoying. Basic dorms, and as you can see, all my people except this nice lady have things over their head. Like this gentleman has broken bone and he's just walking around. A lot of people are hungry. It seems that's my big problem right now. Apparently my potato plants are not producing enough. We're also having a problem with, I always seem to run into a problem with having enough metal to go around to continue expanding the base to things that we need. It always seems like the metal I have because when you start the game off, you start off with the landing of a colony ship, which we can do because this base isn't doing all that good. So we will just start a new one from scratch. As you can see, there's 4 planets, and I think that's all there is, but it is a challenge, as I've been saying. So we'll just go ahead and start a new game. So you just land, go through this little cut screen. And it should start us off with 7 colonists and 2 robots. Okay, I just sneezed. And I did play this through the tutorial, so I do have a general concept of what needs to be done right away. So we will build the oxygen factory right away, because that's one of the most important things. From there we will get solar arrays up and running. And then to connect them, all you do is click from one to the other, hit connect. It will cost materials, but we have quite a bit of materials stored in the ship, and we can recycle the ship to get quite a lot more. We actually landed in quite a nice area, actually, quite a lot of space here to build our base. You start off with 7 people, as I explained a little bit ago. 3 workers, 2 botanists, I have to assume. We will just kind of build a few solar panels. What else will we need? Okay, we need a power collector, aka battery. I prefer the bigger ones. And then so each one has its own, like, it seems like most buildings have different tiers of size, other than like the airlocks and some things that are kind of particular, which makes sense. You don't want airlocks just being all sorts of, I mean, why would you need a giant airlock? Here's the cafeteria. We're going to try and get close to this mountain over here for reasons I will explain in a second. Connect these up. We're just going to go ahead and recycle our ship right away, and there you have a visual representation of all the supplies we start off with. So we got both our solar panels up and running now. Alrighty, we can now feel comfortable putting in the airlock, connect that up. And the reason I did this is because to put a mine, you have to be connected. So if I put it over here, I can put the mine over here at the base of the mountain, because like most games, it has to be at the base of a mountain. Instead of having it over here where we'd have to build solar arrays and things of that nature in that direction. Build our water collector. Don't know where it collects the water from. If you're a Doctor Who fan, you would know the episode Water of Mars. That was actually my first ever episode of Doctor Who I ever saw, was Water on Mars. So water on this Martian planet has a different context to me than it might to you. And then yeah, it's just a matter of trying to become self-sufficient and stay alive at this point. And it is, resource management is very vital. The urge to expand very quickly, and I don't know if this is just me, but the urge to expand very quickly, it seems, is very prevalent. You know, you just get building and building and building, and next thing you know, you have no resources, you have no water, and everyone dies. And then you need to actually don't just build these pods and everything comes inside. You actually have to edit them and put in, like here we have to put in a table and a food maker. And a water fountain. So that's how they would drink. So then those all take things. One of the downfalls that you need to keep in mind is that the airlock can only be accessed if there's power to it. So if it's like the middle of the night and you're relying on solar panels like I often do, and you run out of power, your airlock shuts down. I'm not too keen on having my airlock so far away from the power connection here, but it's something I just have to live with. Normally I always try and have my O2 generator right next to the power, because in the night, even if you you know, the O2 generator will be the last thing to run out of power then, because it will be getting that, no, I don't want to, getting that it's the first thing in the grid, so it's the first thing to get power, it's the last thing to lose power. So even if we run out of electricity in the middle of the night, as long as we have enough to make till morning, until the oxygen generator runs low, we can make it till morning. Granted, you know, people won't be able to go in and out of the airlock, but it's better than everyone suffocating to death and dying very quickly. Okay, so then we will do a processing plant. That is where we process all those materials we will get from the mine. We'll set up said mine. And this was the reason I put the airlock over here. Connect that. And then up here in the upper right hand corner, you can see we have 7 colonists, 2 robots, This is the day-night cycle, so we are officially in night because there's stars. And this is the wind strength. This is so if you have windmills up and running. But I prefer solar power just because, you know, that's what I've been trying lately. I tried windmills and things, but, you know, to each their own. Here you can see a simplified version of all your supplies you have. These are meals, metal, bioplastic, medical supplies, and then spare parts. Spare parts are obviously used for repairing the various systems of your base. We're going to try, let's see here, rice. We'll do 1 rice, 1 pea pod. I always put a medical plant in, and we will do a potato. So there, like I said, you have to implant all that stuff into your thing, so you don't. It's nice, but it's annoying at the same time. It's nice because you feel more hands-on in this base you're building, but it's just a slight annoyance because if you are over here working on something and you don't realize that this got built and there's nothing in there, the room is virtually useless. Like if this cafeteria here, we didn't have the meal maker in there, it would be useless. They can't make meals or food or anything in there. And we can just switch from mode to mode to see in the walls and not. Obviously, or just speed like almost all sim or base builders or anything like that. You know, just so it goes by a little quicker. And yeah, you just keep going and keep going and keep going. I mean, it's fairly straightforward if you've ever played a base building game, but it is, I don't know, something about it. It's just it's a challenge. If you like a challenge in a base building game, as opposed to, you know, like a city builder where you just run out of money and you can't build your city park. Oh no, here it's like you kind of feel a connection because Matt Robinson, a worker, will die, or I mean Jet Durham, Durham. There's no N in his name. Dominic Chase. You know, it's and they're all very multi-ethnic names too. I've had a lot of different ones, so that's kind of a neat thing. And this game is a finished product. This isn't an alpha. The last time I think I looked at it was an alpha, and then today I got a little money in my pocket. Was looking at Steam, saw this was on sale. It wasn't a huge sale, like 25% off, but hey, I'm a college student. You got to take what you can get. So yeah, I would highly recommend you take a look at it, consider it for yourself. Put in our bioplastic and put in our metal. I mean, that's just my humble opinion, is I would highly recommend looking into it because it is worth the buy. It will give you a challenge, and with the 4 different planets, each planet, it seems, has its own different obstacles. Like some of the planets, you can't put up solar panels, or you can't put up windmills, it seemed, if I read right. So you know, there's a whole different challenge. You know, how do you now? You only have to can only rely on one or the other. Where are we gonna put our landing pad here? I'm gonna put our landing pad here and connect it to this power cell. So you know, that's something to always. But yeah, I would highly recommend it. If I had to put it on a scale of 1 to 10, I would say this game is solid 8. Highlights being it's a challenge. Graphically, it's stunning. Replayability, very, very, very high. I mean, I've just been, oh damn, everyone's died. Guess I got to restart again. I mean, I've already sunk 4 hours into this game, and I've only had it for probably 6 or 7. Low, I always find a game that doesn't have. Oh, this game also has Steam Workshop abilities. I was about to say it doesn't, but it does. As I was saying it, I remembered. Lows, I would just say, after a while, it gets repetitive. It just seems kind of like a, not repetitive in the sense that you don't want to stop playing, just repetitive and, man, I've died the same. I've had all my people die the same way, and I need to figure out a new way to tackle this. One of them kind of things. But yeah, that's Planetbase. There'll be a link down in the description to the Steam site. If you could be so nice as to drop a like or subscribe, and as always, if you can leave any comments, questions, or concerns in the box, I'd be happy to read them. And as always, have a great one.